This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny. Chapter 5, Family Footsteps. The girls were treated to a special dinner to celebrate their start at Perivale School for Girls. Each girl received a roast dinner with all the trimmings, stuffing balls, Yorkshire puddings, and even parsnips, which Phoebe had only ever eaten on Christmas Day. She loved the crispy potatoes with gravy, although the smell did give her a pang of homesickness. With it came the dreadful sadness of losing the diary. She wondered if her mother had sat at the very same table as she felt the smooth wood under her hands. The girls had to watch their food get cold as they listened to the tall, grey-haired headmistress, Miss Perivale, make a speech. She explained that Perivale girls had a duty to their future selves, to their parents, and to the founders of the school. She said the word duty so many times that Phoebe lost track of what it meant. To make the speech more bearable, she imagined that duty meant roast potato. "You must try your best in everything you do. It is your roast potato." Phoebe giggled to herself, and the other girls on her table looked at her oddly, which didn't surprise her. She was used to it. The dessert was Perivale Puff, a school tradition. A swirly cone stood tall on the plate like a unicorn horn. Inside the buttery, flaky pastry was whipped cream and crushed berries. Phoebe wished she could have a second. She looked around to see if her roommates might not want theirs, but sadly they all ate every last crumb. Back in their dorm, the girls were given free time before 9:30 p.m. lights out. Phoebe used the opportunity to work on her book of difficult questions. She wanted to guess Clarissa Harding's locker code and wrote down, "What is Clarissa Harding's birthday?" "It won't be her birthday," Marie said. "It's too obvious. Anyone could find that out and open it. It will be something obscure like the date she became head girl, or the date she started Perivale." "This is nuts," Elspeth warned. "You'll be expelled just for writing this down. I don't want any part of it." "How are you girls getting on?" came a voice from the doorway. Phoebe slapped her book shut and turned to see a lady with pale skin and short, dark hair. Her lips curved down at the sides as if she was highly irritated. She wore a black shirt with an oversized white collar, which Phoebe thought looked rather menacing after all the chocolate box purple that she had been surrounded by all day. "We're just talking about how lovely the dessert was," Marie said. "Indeed," the lady said, sweeping into the room and eyeing the girls' belongings. "I am Miss Steele, but you can call me matron. I look after all the girls in year 7. The girls nodded. "I run a tight ship," matron said. "No banana skins in the bedroom bins. Make your beds before breakfast. I'll hand out your phones and collect them up each night. If I hear a peep out of you after lights out, the whole room will be punished. I don't want to hear so much as a whisper. Is that clear?" Again they nodded, their eyes lighting up as matron handed out their phones. The room was soon filled with the buzzing and chirping of simultaneous notifications as they switched on their devices. Matron approached Phoebe's end of the room. She leaned over the bed and gave the window a shove. The cool evening air blew in. "This stays open, always," she said. "Fresh air is good for the mind." As she backed away, she noticed the book of difficult questions. "To whom does this belong?" she said, looking at Marie and Phoebe. "It's mine, matron," Phoebe said. Matron flicked through it. "If glass is made of sand, how come we can see through it?" she read. That is a good question." Phoebe extended a hand to encourage matron to return the book. But the housemistress continued to flick through. "Clarissa Harding," she read. "What business do you have with Clarissa?" Phoebe swallowed. "I just thought she might appreciate a card on her birthday, matron, so I wanted to know the date. I'm in awe of her." Finally, matron passed back the book of difficult questions. "I'm not surprised," she said as she glanced around the room. The bunks and narrow singles bore the scratches from decades of service, and the room looked much like she had remembered from her day. Except now the girls had duvets instead of sheets. Perivale had gone soft, like so many boarding schools. Matron's attention drifted back to Phoebe. "I don't know every girl's birthday, I'm afraid, but did you know that me and Clarissa's mother started on this very day in 1995? In this very dorm." "Wonderful girl, Clarissa," matron said. She towed a suitcase deeper under Poppy's bed. "Clarissa has Perivale in her bones. I remember when she knocked on my door at 9:02 to let me know that her roommates were reading under the covers. Now that is what makes a head girl." Matron swept out of the room, and the girls listened as she made the same speech in the dorm next door. "Not even a whisper." Phoebe hurriedly scribbled down 1995 in her book. Marie looked up from her phone to see what she was doing. The date her mum started at Perivale, that could be Clarissa's locker code, Phoebe explained. I wonder what this place was like in the olden days, said Charlotte. Probably black and white, that's how I imagine it. If I had my diary, I could tell you, said Phoebe. But from what Mum said, it was different in some ways and same in the others. They had no phones and no internet. They didn't even have computers, but they still had carpet and paint, so it was definitely in colour. One of my roommates wants to know if everything was black and white when you were young, Phoebe texted her mother. She took a photo of the window at the end of the bed and sent it through. I have the same bed as you did. The girls climbed into bed and put their side lights on after Matron returned to retrieve their phones. Phoebe looked around at the other girls who all had thick books to read. She looked at her book of difficult questions, but didn't want to think about anything which would start her brain worrying. Instead, she stared up at the ceiling and imagined her mum doing the same all those years before. She missed her, of course, but she hadn't cried yet, not even once. A tiny cobweb hung above her, high up on the tall ceiling. Phoebe liked this particular spider. It could have set its web up anywhere, but it chose to take the spot by the window. Clever thing, she thought. The window is where the flies will come in and out. She wondered if its ancestors had lived in the same spot and the spider was also following in its family footsteps. At exactly 9:27, Elspeth put her light out. The girls said goodnight to each other and turned their lights off too. A cool breeze blew through the window and Phoebe quietly closed it. Elspeth glared at her and shook her head. Phoebe shrugged. She didn't like to break rules, but her mother had always taught her that if she acted like a grown-up, she would be treated like one. Surely then, she could close a window.